It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Citi Prime News live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Adwatin Kramadom, and coming up, Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament gives CEO of Minerals Income Investment Fund 5-day notice to provide details on the $12 million expenditure made on the botched Ejapa royalties deal. Also coming up, management of Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital seeks urgent government intervention following mass exodus of nurses and other health workers. Still ahead, traditional rulers in Osino demand intensified police surveillance following clashes between students of Osino Presby and residents, which led to the death of one. And later, Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs warns governing New Patriotic Party over division in its parliamentary front over a possible reshuffle.
I think it's quite disturbing. For me, they say they want to break the eight. The number one ingredient for breaking the eight, I think, is unity. If they lose that and they have their caucus divided, I think they might as well forget.
Stay with us for details of these stories and more in the next 30 minutes. Remember, the bulletin is live on Facebook on Citi 97.3 FM. We're also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're on Adrimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade, also on Sky Power 93.5 in Takrade. In the Bruno region, find us on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyang. In the Ashanti region, we're on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi, Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Revival 99.3 FM and VOV Radio 95.7 in Hohoi. In the Northern region, we're on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In the Upper East region, this is Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. In the Upper West region, we're on to Song 97.3 FM and Jirapa 96.1 FM. Stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
We're grateful for your company this afternoon. We begin from Parliament, and the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament has requested the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund to provide information on the $12 million expenditure related to the Ejapa royalties deal. In a statement addressed to the CEO and signed by the Senior Assistant Clerk for the committee, Benjamin Techi Antiedu, the committee expressed the requested information by Tuesday, February 27, 2024. This request follows the CEO's disclosure at a Public Accounts Committee sitting that the MIIF spent $12 million on processes to list the Ejapa royalties on the London Stock Exchange. Away from that now, the Media Foundation for West Africa has expressed shock at comments by the Attorney General suggesting that no prosecutable docket has been presented on Ahmed Swale's murder. The Attorney General, while addressing questions in Parliament, stated that 5 years after the death of the investigative journalist, his office is yet to receive any docket fit for prosecution. The Attorney General further suggested that the journalist's death might have been linked to activities other than journalism. Now, reacting to the AG's comment, Muhib Sahid, who is manager for the Freedom of Expression program at the MFWA, raised concerns about lack of proof by the state to ensure justice prevails.
Well, it has come to us as a shock and as the utmost proof of lack of commitment to ensuring justice in the case of Ahmed Swale. And it is particularly disturbing because it is the second time that the Attorney General has appeared before Parliament to say the exact thing he said yesterday and in almost the exact words. And there is no other bigger proof of the lack of commitment to justice in this case than what was enacted before Parliament yesterday.
You heard Muhib Sahid. He serves as the manager for the Freedom of Expression program at the Media Foundation for West Africa and now the executive director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, SEPA. Dr. Rashid Rahman has cautioned the New Patriotic Party to be wary of its efforts to reshuffle the majority leadership in Parliament. This comes amid apparent divisions within the caucus, with the first deputy speaker expressing opposition to the idea while others have welcomed it. Dr. Rahman, in an interview with Citi News, says the party's focus on winning the 2024 elections may be compromised if it fails to unite its ranks.
Have a meeting, the caucus and the party, and put out all the reasons for which, there is a need for a change. Like we said, in the case of the NDC, we had, look, we want to put our best economic foot forward, and so on. Again, that also is an argument that sometimes is problematic. But a conversation like that, and then at the end of it all, there will be people who disagree. There will be people who will agree. But I think if they deepen consultation, they would come up with some agreement. And that way, when a decision is made or when these things come out into the public domain, we don't see the kind of reaction, the swift reaction that we saw from no less a person than the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. I think it's quite disturbing. And for me, they say they want to break the 8. The number one ingredient for breaking the 8, I think, is unity. If they lose that and they have their caucus divided, I think they might as well forget this whole mantra of breaking the 8.
Dr. Rashid Rahman is Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Now, the Ministry of Education is in discussions with the Electricity Company of Ghana to prevent further disconnections in senior high schools across the country. This comes after the ECG cut off power supply to Accra Academy Senior High School due to an outstanding debt of over 400,000 Ghana cedis. The government has allocated 5 million cedis to partially settle the outstanding debt. Now, spokesperson for the ministry, Kwesi Kwati, stated that there are ongoing discussions to avoid a recurrence of such disconnections in other schools.
Regarding the power cut issue at Accra Academy SHS 2 days ago, what is important is that currently power has been restored and students are going about their normal duties and teachers as well. But of course, it is important to know that the Federal Secretariat operates under a structured payment plan for utilities across all schools. And when I refer to all schools, I'm referring to secondary or senior high schools in Ghana. Specifically, ECG submits a consolidated bill and then we process it and pay it on quarterly basis. And so it is very important to emphasize that these bills are not settled by us individual schools, but they are rather settled collectively. So therefore, any disconnection logically should have affected all schools rather than isolated schools or being selective for that matter, the Accra academic case. And so clearly, one can reasonably suggest that there is a potential discrepancy between ECG headquarters where payments are made and these local operational units responsible for disconnections. But of course, as leadership, what is most important is that we are engaging them to make sure that we reconcile and make sure that this does not happen again.
Kwesi Kwati is spokesperson of the Ministry of Education. Let's take you to the Ashanti region now. The Chief Executive Officer of the Konfanoto Teaching Hospital, Professor Otria Dimensa, is urging government intervention to address the departure of over 200 nurses and other health workers from the facilities since 2023. Professor Dimensa says the exodus of nurses is negatively impacting healthcare delivery at the hospital, which serves as a major referral center. The CEO raised this concern during a meeting with the Finance Minister, Mohamed Amin Adam, who visited the facility on Tuesday.
But most importantly, it has to do with replacement of staff, not employment of new staff, but the replacement. In the past year, we have had over 200 nurses leave Konfanoche. Every day, I have had to approve about 3 to 5 applications for either leave of absence or resignations, and mostly nurses, sometimes radiographers, sometimes medical laboratory scientists. We are praying that we get given the opportunity to replace these people who are leaving so that we can continue with the care that we are supposed to be giving to our patients. I have some of the most very dedicated cadre of workers in the country, the nurses, the doctors, the laboratory scientists, and every one of them. It is, however, true that at one point you may have one person who may do something that may not be right. But the truth is that if you want to do a proper assessment of my nurses, my doctors, my staff generally, I think that they are doing very well, especially given the circumstances under which they are working. These are the things we would want you, Honorable Minister, to pay heed to and help us solve.
Meanwhile, the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital is also grappling with an equipment deficit and is calling for a retooling.
But because of the referrals we are getting from many of these regions for either for their neonates or for the mothers, it is our firm belief that once that building is completed, that block is completed, space would be freed and the quality of care we are able to give to our patients would be improved. But I wish to state here, whilst you're here, that one of the major things we are facing is retooling in the hospital. We are aware of the difficulty government has had in respect of COVID and the others. But we believe that it is also possible for some help to be extended so far as retooling is concerned, especially given the fact that we are serving 12 out of the 16 regions. One key example is a mammography machine, which for the past about 18 years, we haven't had one. And so we are picking up breast cancer cases in stages 3 and stage 4. Apparently, about 70% of the cases of breast cancer are diagnosed in stage 3 and stage 4, basically because the effective screening that ought to be done with the help of a mammogram machine are not being done.
You heard Professor Ochre Adai-Mensah. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Moving on, the Executive Secretary for the Bureau of Public Safety, Dr. Nanayo Akwada, has warned that boycotting duties in select regions of the country would be inconsistent with the Ghana National Fire Service's mandate. His statement comes following considerations of a boycott by the fire service in response to repeated attacks on its personnel, with the most recent incident occurring in Konongo and Apraman. Dr. Akwada, in an interview with Citi News, says such a decision will not only be illegal but also endanger lives and properties.
Well, first of all, I don't think it is consistent with the mandate of the Ghana National Fire Service not to respond to fires, and so it will be against the law. Secondly, their mandate is not only to put off fires but also to rescue lives. Therefore, if they decide that they are not going to respond to fires anymore, they are literally saying that we are going to allow people to die, and we are also going to allow properties to waste away. This will cost the country a great deal, and so we must guard against that by any means necessary.
Well, Dr. Nanayo Akwada also urged the Ghana National Fire Service to conduct a thorough post-analysis of their responses to identify vulnerable areas and revise dispatch protocols accordingly.
If the Ghana National Fire Service is doing any serious post-analysis of their responses, I believe that by now they should be able to identify areas or potential areas that they are likely to come under attack when or if they respond to fires. And so for such places, either there must be a revision of dispatching procedures or protocols such that the fire service is going to be dispatched alongside with law enforcement, or as it is done in other jurisdictions, at any time there is a response or a call for fire, the fire service is dispatched along with law enforcement officers all the time. I believe that this should be able to, if not solve, take away the threat to the lives of firemen.
You heard Dr. Nanayo Akwada, he's Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. Stories we have brought to you so far. Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament gives Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund 5-day notice to provide details on the $12 million expenditure made on the botched Ejapa royalties deal. Still ahead, traditional rulers in Osino are demanding intensified police surveillance following clashes between students of Osino Presby and residents, which led to the death of one. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The Heritage Caravan 2024 is officially sold out. The buses are primed, participants are eager, and the itinerary is loaded. Now pack your bags and get on the Heritage Caravan. From the Greater Accra region to the Volta region to the Eastern region to the Bono region, Ahafo region, Bono East region to the Upper East region to the Northern region to the Savannah region to the Northeast region to the Ashanti region to the Western North region to the Western region, the Central region, and back to the Greater Accra region. The Heritage Caravan will last for 8 days from Sunday the 3rd of March to Sunday the 10th of March 2024. An expedition full of excitement, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments awaits you. This is a journey of a lifetime to discover Ghana. Follow all Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2024. The Heritage Caravan 2024 is powered by Citi TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from Citi FM, and it's proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Goil PLC, Hollard Insurance, GB Foods, and Omni Basic Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to some more stories. Vice Chairman of the Bawumia 2024 campaign team, Nana Akumia, has stated that Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia cannot be solely blamed for the country's current economic challenges. Critics, including the opposition National Democratic Congress, have accused Dr. Bawumia of playing a major role in the economic challenges faced by the Akufo-Addo administration. In an interview on Citi TV's face-to-face program, Nana Akumia dismissed the NDC's assertion that Dr. Bawumia betrayed President Akufo-Addo by distancing himself from the economic challenges facing the country.
How can he be responsible? He is part of the government, but how can you say one person is responsible? And you see, the NDC, when they even say, they don't realize that when they point to Bawumia that he's responsible, 4 of the fingers are pointed to themselves, because if you are going to talk about responsibility for difficulties, if you like, John Mahama, he was president for 4.5 years, and there were immense difficulties in his time. Doomsaw, corruption, the economic difficulties, IMF. So if you are going to assign responsibility to one person, then between a president, John Mahama, and Bawumia, a vice president, who would take the bigger responsibility?
Nana Akumia also revealed that the economy will recover in the next 6 months, with fuel products seeing a decline in prices.
We believe that in another 6 months, the economic situation will be far improved.
What have you put in place to make you believe so?
But you can see, we talked about inflation coming down from 50 just a year ago to 22, 23. The CD has been, since February, for 1 year, the CD is depreciated by about 9%.
But it's been stable on a very high note. The price of fuel is stable on a very high note. In fact, it's started going.
But it's stable. Fuel went to 23 cities, if you remember.
Yes.
Now it's been in the 12s for a long time.
Which is still a big number.
It's still a big number, but it's improving. And the things that we are doing, the gold for oil is going to put a downward pressure on the price of petrol.
Meanwhile, on the 24-hour economy policy proposed by the NDC's flag bearer John Mahama, Nana Akufo-Addo said he doubts its feasibility.
What is going to emerge as we go along the campaign is what the two people offer. John Mahama says 24-hour economy. I don't understand it. Maybe you do. When you ask them, they say it means watch it. People selling watch it can sell throughout the night. When you ask another person, it means farmers can farm.
But you run a business that does 24-hour economy, so you should understand it better.
Now, I'm running 24-hour not because it has been legislated. You are running 24-hour at Citi FM not because it has been legislated. It is because the market condition makes it worth your while to run 24 hours. You can't legislate market condition. You can't pass a law and say all radio stations should run 24 hours.
You heard the vice chairman of the Bawumia 2024 campaign team, Nana Akufo-Addo. He spoke on Citi TV's face-to-face program. But let's stay on the campaign of the NPP as far as the 2024 election is concerned. And Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, has described as inexperienced the team members appointed to run the affairs of the New Patriotic Party's 2024 campaign. The NPP on Monday unveiled a campaign team for its flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, ahead of the 2024 polls, with Member of Parliament for Okre Damboche as a chairman and Frederick Opariansa as campaign manager. The list also includes Nana Akufo-Addo, Kwabena Ejapon, and Dennis Miracles Abuaji. Speaking on the City Breakfast Daily Show, rather on Citi TV, the NDC MP Murtala Mohammed raised doubt about the competence of the team.
Talking about experience, none of the people you have elected, including Damboche, a person I respect so much, can be compared to General Mosquito in terms of experience. General Mosquito has contested more elections, more than any of them, won electoral victory than any of them, either as a member of parliament or even as someone who is a general secretary. He has more experience. Damboche won only one elections. One. So when we sit here and you want to celebrate him, as the general secretary, he won only one elections.
But
no, let me finish.
But to be fair,
he won only one presidential. Please, he won only one presidential election.
To be fair, when we look at Ivory Coast, yes. Nobody expected them to win.
Well, that's a blip. You can have that happen. Now, I am making my analysis based on the statement analysis he made. Okay. He provided the standard. He said sharpness. He said experience. He said proven records. I mean, he mentioned. And I want to go by his own standard. In terms of experience, Damboche, I respect him. He can't be compared to General Mosquito under any circumstance.
That was Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, now commenting on the controversy surrounding the proposed reshuffle of the leadership of the Majority Caucus. NPP parliamentary candidate for Bosome Freho, Nana Kwame Asafo-Addo, urged caution to prevent any potential rift among the party's leadership and its Majority Caucus in Parliament.
Majority leader or minority leader means a member of parliament designated by the Majority Caucus as their leader in the House. So the new one takes away the power of the party and gives it to the caucus. Now, I think there should be a certain symbiotic relationship between the party and the caucus. Because don't forget, in my constitution or in the constitution of the NPP, when you are the leader of parliament, you are a member of National Council. True. So it cannot, I don't know whether it is supposed to be in that spirit that you do not need recourse to the leadership. You just have to be in caucus or in parliament and take your leadership without recourse to the party. I don't know. That is why I am still looking at the spirit behind the new standing order. That is it that the new standing order is taking away the powers of the party or eschewing the party from the involvement of some of these things?
That was NPP parliamentary candidate for Bosomefre Nana Kwame Asafu Eje. Away to the Eastern Region now, the chief of Osino, Sabarima Otudako, is calling on the Eastern Regional Police Command to intensify surveillance, tighten security, and help maintain peace and order at the Osino Presby Senior High and Technical School. This plea comes after a clash between students and a youth group from the Nsuapemso community on February 20 resulted in the death of a 26-year-old individual. Osabremo Tudako asked for 24-hour police protection for the school and summoned the Odikro of Nsuapemso to a meeting at his palace to prevent any attempts at revenge by the youth of the area.
Regional Police Commander.
We would speak with the regional police commander to dispatch more security personnel to the school to avert further chaos. Later in the day, I have a meeting with the chief to warn members of his community against instigating such acts.
Well, he, however, allayed the fears of parents whose wards are in the school and assured them that their wards are in safe hands.
I urge all parents to keep calm as the police has taken full charge in protecting the student. I would also caution guardians to advise their wards to desist from such violent activities.
That was Chief of Osino Sabarima Otudako. Moving on, the National Association of Institutional Suppliers has slated March 4, 2024 to picket at the Ministry of Education over 100 million cedi debt. The association laments the government's failure to honor payments for supplied uniforms, house dresses, and other essentials to numerous senior high schools over 2 academic years. Addressing the media, the group's spokesperson Emmanuel Ayibo indicated their resolve to explore all available avenues to ensure their demands are met.
We as an association have had an extensive engagement with the government on these challenges that we've actually cited. But unfortunately, as we speak, government has not really given us a response yet, and we don't know even when they are paying us. The price quota is too low for us, as we have indicated in our press conference, and we are also asking the government to actually reconsider giving the awards back to the schools, the supply of PE kits and then the stationaries. Government should give it back to the schools. So we are, by this press conference, stating that if government does not listen to us, we are going to picket on the 4th of March coming. That is a few days from today. We'll be picketing at the Ministry of Education. Yes, we have notified the police, and as we speak, yesterday we had an issue with them. We are finalizing with the modalities, hopefully before the close of this week.
Emmanuel Ayibo is a spokesperson for the National Association of Institutional Suppliers. Before we go, the National Lotteries Authority says it will continue conducting swoops to arrest illegal lotto operators, take them to court, and secure convictions in an effort to sanitize the lottery space. The NLA aims to minimize losses incurred by the government due to illegal operations. Director General of the National Lotteries Authority, Sami Uku, stated that the aggressive measures taking are gradually reducing the prevalence of illegal lottery operations.
Embarking on swoops, arresting people who are operating illegally, arranging them before the court, and securing conviction as well, because they are these provocateurs. They have ensured that the government loses revenue, the NLA loses revenue, and they don't operate under any law or act. The World Lottery Association estimates that the member bodies lost a colossal amount, together over $1.3 trillion across the country. And we contributed over $90 billion, I'm talking about World Lottery Association members, over $90 billion in support of good causes. So if we lost $1.3 trillion, and we're only able to generate $90 billion to support good causes, then it's clear that when the activities of these illegal operators are minimized, we can get enough to support many more of such facilities to help the community. Now, first it was very high. Our increased surveillance has reduced it a bit. I can tell you it's reduced by almost about 15% from last year, from the activities that they were in.
You heard Samuel Oko, he's the Director General of the National Lotteries Authority, and that's our package for you for this afternoon's edition of Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. For more news, please log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Ajwatin Krama Domna. Thank you so much for your company. Have a good afternoon.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.